Okay, so my guests know that are listening to the show. They know that I started putting on trivia on the podcast. So
Trivia.
yeah. So I prepared 5 trivia questions for you.
Cool.
And
Five for five.
I want to test you on how well you know women because
Okay.
you claim to know and understand women. So I'm going to put you to the test and see what you know.
Everything I know is from late 90s and early 2000s R&B. That's how I've learned women.
Okay. Question number 1. What is a hymen?
A hymen?
Yeah.
It's like the protective on the inside that gets broken when you have sex with them.
Does it have a purpose?
To tell if she's a whore or not.
So I actually didn't know what the purpose was either. And I looked it up like before
So you know you bought a true virgin, right?
I guess so. Like science, you know what's interesting is scientifically they couldn't come up with a reason, so that's probably the closest.
That's it.
But like
that's it.
That like even science and medicine was like, yeah, we don't really know what this is for.
I've solved it. I've cracked the case. They just didn't want to say the truth.
Okay, next question. When the hymen does break, and indeed it does, if you know,
yeah,
where does it go? Is the skin fall out? Like what happens to it after that?
I imagine it goes back to heaven, which is where it was created. But practically, I'm gonna say no. It's like a gate that's open forever, right?
Yes, the gates of heaven.
Like,
yes,
yeah, it's like the gate to like the fallopian tubes and all. It's like the wall, right?
So you actually know more about women than I do, apparently, because I didn't know this. I was curious about it, and I looked it up. I'm like, wait a second, like when you break the hymen, does the skin just like dissolve? Like where does it go? And apparently, I learned so much about this like today, just looking this up, like this morning. Apparently, not everybody's born with one. So sometimes you're just born, you're just born a whore. Not everybody's born with one. Not everybody's breaks, apparently. Like, apparently you can go your whole life without it breaking.
That's some women where I think that. I'm like,
yeah.
Damn.
Like, and like they come in different shapes. Like, and there's holes in them because like you need to bleed. But no, that's exactly what I read. If you were born with one and it does quote unquote break, which isn't apparently that's like not even true either. Apparently when it breaks, it doesn't break. It like wears down. But exactly what you said, the skin doesn't just disappear. It's still there.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much shit down there. Like if you like look like really in the vagina, like you really get in there, there's some weird shit in there. And I think that's probably one of the things.
There's a lot of very different ones. I've met chicks who have the G-spot like down instead of up.
Really?
It's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when you're eating pussy. I swear. It's like at a certain point you develop, like if you practice like a martial art or like anything in life, like eating pussy, like you just got to take a deep breath and center yourself and just be like, okay, I'm going to hit all the pressure points and see what's doing, you know? I don't want to talk too much about it because I might answer 3 more trivia questions.
I don't think, like side note, I don't think I have a G-spot.
What?
Because I've never found it.
Some women just don't fucking come internally.
I've never, and like, I can't tell you how many guys I've dated that's like, I'll be the one who shows you. And like, not a single guy has ever showed me. I just don't.
I've definitely been the one to find it for some.
No, they've all say it.
Because like, you know what's the fucked up thing is, and what those dudes probably did was they probably tried to go deeper. Every time a woman's ever said that nobody's ever found her G-spot, it's always the most shallow G-spot I've ever fucking met in my life.
I've actually heard that a theory.
For whatever reason. I've
heard a theory that the G-spot is just the other side of the clit. It's just like where the clit is on the other side of the vagina.
I just know it's like got a little texture to it, and like you know when you fucking are stimulating it for sure. The A spot and the C spot, but those might be fucking trivia questions. So.
All right, next trivia question about women. Okay, how many eggs does a woman have her entire life?
Is that not different?
What do you mean?
Isn't it like
on average? It's not like standard, but like on average.
There's like,
I mean,
every time
considering
there's a
like an
period.
average, what's that?
Every time there's a period, doesn't that have to do with eggs?
It does.
Yeah. So it's like, fucking, that's a big number. I don't,
Okay,
and
so
shouldn't even do the math on it. Like, you know, like
take a stab.
we'll do like 13 to like 52 maybe on average. So that's like fucking, let me pull out my calculator real quick.
Yeah. I want the listeners to think about it too, so they could see what they could see if they're correct or not.
Do you have like Jeopardy music queued up, or would you get like 1,872?
Not bad. So apparently, the average woman can, assuming that she lives like a full healthy life of whatever the average age is of like 80, 70, whatever. The average woman creates 300 to 400,000 eggs, but I didn't know this either. Like, I'm learning so much. Apparently, not all those eggs make it, kind of like the sperm, like a lot of them die. Not all those eggs make it. Only 300 to 400 in her lifetime are ones that she actually uses.
I knew there was a number 3 or 4 in there, and that's why I multiplied like I did months.
Yeah.
And then I did like 52 minus 13. And then that's as many years as there's like a period going on before menopause.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so like, you know, that's probably average menopause ages from start to finish.
Yeah.
So I'll multiply that by like 12, get the months going. And then every month I figure there's 3 to 4. So I just did 4. So I multiplied those things.
Yeah, no, I had no idea that women produce that many eggs and they just like die off. I thought like you just got what you got. Like I had no clue about that.
Oh yeah.
You would have passed this, like you're passing this quiz better than I would have if I was like
opened up so many hitchhikers that I just know the female anatomy. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 more questions. One more anatomy question, and then the last is totally different. So speaking of ovulation, like what day in the cycle does it normally happen?
What?
So in the menstrual cycle, which is like on average 28 to 32 days, what day in the menstrual cycle does the woman ovulate?
Ovulate?
Yes.
Oh, this is something I've never known. I actually knew a guy who like kept track of this girl's ovulation, like through an app.
This one you should know so you don't knock somebody up.
And listen, I'm vaccinated. I can't make anybody pregnant ever. I keep getting that shot. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Because I love shooting the club up. It's like a major kink of mine. So I'm trying to think of when that freak fucking, I knew this kid and he like got this chick pregnant on purpose because he wanted to like stay, like he wanted to get somebody pregnant. It was fucking weird. It was
like a manipulative way to do it.
Yeah, like
that's not good.
They just said it around a group of people like it was okay, and we were all like, "What? Like you fucking weirdo." Yeah,
no, that's like some psychopathic shit because you're essentially
that's an episode of Law and Order SVU.
You're like essentially it should be illegal. Yeah, it should be illegal. You're essentially forcing a person to be a part of your life forever.
I know. Yeah. It's like when women want to keep the baby. It should be illegal.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, don't fucking try to keep me around. So you said between what days?
What day of the Okay, so I'm going to clue you in. There's the menstrual cycle is on average between 28 to 32 days. There's only roughly 2 days in which the woman could get pregnant.
So on average, like what are those days?
Yeah, like which day of the cycle?
1 to 32 or 28 or 32?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking 11 and 12.
You're on point. So the answer is between 11 and 14. So you're on point with the 11.
Because I figured it's before the period, and the period's like on average in the middle, right?
So the period counts as number 1. So period is day one.
So
and
it's
then
like coming back around.
Yes, it's kind of like it's like the moon cycle. It's kind of freaky in that way because the moon cycle is like 28 days, and you can kind of think of ovulation as like the full moon because like you can kind of think of like the zero moon, like where it's not zero because it's there, but like the whatever when you can't see it, you can kind of think of that as like that's the period starting. When it reaches the full moon is like ovulation, and when it goes into like what is it, waning? When it goes into the waning crescent and back to like you can't see the moon, you can think of that as like past the ovulation period. It's like pretty interesting how that lines up with the moon cycle, you know?
Well, we come from the water, so that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with it. We're scientists. Yeah. We're fucking scientists.
We're morons.
Like I figured out what the hymen was for. You're figuring this shit out. Like this is crazy.
I mean, I'm certainly not the only person who's like figured out the moon theory.
If you're listening to this, we are experts, and you should be taking notes.
Okay,
last on the woman's body.
Last question has nothing to do with the woman's menstrual cycle, but it does have to do with something that most women probably know, unless I'm just like making a sexist assumption about women. But what are the names of the four main characters in Sex
in the City?
Sex in the City, but not their actual actress, like not them as actual people, they're characters.
Okay, this is the funny part is because when you said you've never tasted a bad semen, I was thinking of the episode where Samantha tastes the guy's spunk and she like makes him taste it himself because she's like, I'll tell you what, I'll keep swallowing your jizz if you taste it yourself. And
did he do it?
Yeah, the guy does it. And he's like, oh. But yeah, so Samantha, Carrie,
yeah,
Miranda, and so Samantha's the slutty one. Carrie's the main character, obviously. Which one's Miranda? Is Miranda the hot one or the redhead?
Miranda, as if she's not hot.
I don't think. I think she's looks like an alien. Except for when she's pregnant.
Miranda's the redhead. Yeah.
Okay, Miranda's the redhead, and is it Cheryl?
Very close. I'll give you another chance. It's a CH. It's a CH.
She's the hottest one too. This my favorite one, at least.
I like Samantha. I think she's the hottest one.
She's the sluttiest one. Charlotte? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So despite the fact that you didn't know Charlotte, I'm really impressed how much you knew about it. And I would say, you know your shit about women. I would say you probably knew more than I would have known it because I had to look.
Say a Sex and the City reference, but I was like, I don't
this
think
is your you definitely your reputation is true. You do know women. You're good.
Do you know about the A spot and the C spot?
No, I don't know that. I don't know.
The A spot is like the deeper version of the G spot, and the C spot is actually it's right below the clitoris. It's the pee hole. So it's the small little hole, and that can be sexually stimulated as well.
I do know about the male prostate.